Tonight we're going to start with a look at new images of the proposed Interstate Bridge between Portland and Vancouver. It's one of the biggest infrastructure undertakings in our region in decades, and we're following along very closely every step of the way. So, it's our big story tonight. The current bridges across the Columbia are pretty hard to miss. Their green columns stretch above the river, spanning the state line between Oregon and Washington. But their days appear numbered. The new bridge project is still in the planning stages, but it is definitely moving forward. Last week we told you about a massive document the team released, several thousand pages long, reviewing all the impacts and benefits of the project. Included in that report are new images to give us a better sense of what this thing's really going to look like if it gets built. Most of the new document uses some of the earlier visuals that we've already seen, but there are several new looks that plop the bridge model into real-world photos for the first time. So that gives us simulated before and after shots. And before we get too far into this tonight, it's worth noting that many of the pictures show two possible versions of the new bridge. And that's because the project team is still trying to get the Coast Guard to sign off on a fixed crossing that does not move instead of a drawbridge that'll go up and down. And no matter which direction the project ultimately takes, the report says over and over and over and over again, the images you're about to see are not final designs. They are very early mock-ups, so try to keep that in mind. All right, let's have a look. This is the full bridge as seen from Hayden Island. The top photo is the current bridge. The middle one is a fixed double-decker design, and the bottom one is the drawbridge option. Again, the new images, the middle and bottom, are photographic simulations to make it seem more real life. Here's the same view, but from the other side of the bridge. Again, we're seeing the old bridge, then the double-decker bridge, and then the drawbridge. In this one, there's a fourth photo with the drawbridge raised. What stands out to me in that photo is just how tall the double-decker fixed bridge design is. It looks like that upper deck is near where the top of the current bridge beams rise into the sky now. All right, here's a look from the Vancouver side, standing to the east of the bridge, with the image in the same order as before. We're really curious to see what it would look like from the west side in the middle of the brand new bustling Vancouver waterfront, but conveniently the report does not include that. One of the common criticisms from opponents of the new bridge project is that there's a lack of detailed concept art to fully convey the scale and the size of what they think is a monster. Critics have argued the bridge folks are deliberately holding those detailed images back because, well, they're worried about public opinion turning sour, if in fact it is just a wall of ugly concrete blocking the views from the Vancouver waterfront. Yet to be seen. So it is worth noting that those angles are not in this report. The document does acknowledge that viewers in close proximity, such as the waterfront development and the upper levels of the high-rise buildings of Vancouver, well, you would likely experience moderate to high visual impacts, as they call it, but they don't have the photos to simulate those impacts. There's also mention of mitigation ideas like public open space under the bridge and landscaping or public art on the columns, but again, no photos. There are some photos from downtown Vancouver. This is the current view from 6th Avenue and Columbia Street, with the old bridge tower sticking up, and below it is what a double-decker replacement would look like from that same spot. One interesting note in these images is it's easy to miss is that Hurley Tower on the left, the 6-story office building, one of the newest additions to the Vancouver skyline. According to the project plan, it's also one of the biggest structures on the chopping block if this thing gets built. Looking at the lower photo, sure enough, it's gone. Here's the view from a couple of blocks over, standing by City Hall and looking down Esther Street. The bridge is kind of hidden behind the trees that are on the left, but this helps illustrate just how much taller the double-decker bridge would be. Jumping over to I-5, this is the view from the proposed Evergreen Boulevard light rail station in Vancouver. This would be the new end of the Max Yellow line, running next to or above the freeway until it gets here. The shaded green area in the bottom image is what the project team is calling a community connector. They're proposing a cap over the freeway that would cover that whole area. This next one is almost all computer graphics, but here's the view if you're driving across the new bridge toward Vancouver. Those big gray columns on the bottom are the new lift span towers, if they have to go with the drawbridge design. You can see a simulated Mount St. Helens there in the background. Jumping back to Hayden Island, here's the view on the island looking south toward Portland. The project is not just replacing the main I-5 bridge, it's also replacing the North Portland Harbor Bridge, which carries the freeway to Hayden Island from the Oregon side. That replacement bridge is on the left in the bottom image, with the new bridge on the right to carry light rail to the island. And finally, here's a view from Jansen Beach from the shopping center on Hayden Island. The new bridge would have the freeway elevated, and you can see the light rail line there running on top. Now, I know that was a lot of images, but we're keeping our promise to stay on top of this project as it moves forward, and we thought those real-life images kind of helped hammer home a possible future for the new I-5 bridge. Now, it's your turn. What stood out to you in those images? Is it the height, the design, something else? Let us know, will you? You can email us. The address is thestory@kgw.com, or give us a call and leave a voicemail. The number is 503-226-5090.